Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be showing you how to get analog inputs on your keyboard to simulate a Xbox controller, DualShock controller, or any other controller on your keyboard that supports Hall effect. Before we continue, make sure that all of these keyboards that are supported are the ones that you have. And make sure to look at these small letters that gives you an actual explanation of what these mean. Because these ones that have R's are laser keyboards, ones that have P's and F's are ones that has custom firmware or only supports polling, which could have lag and miss inputs. Either one that works. Now, if there isn't one that's on your list, click on the list on the GitHub link that is up in the top left, and it will give you every single usable interface analogs of the list of which one support, could possibly have one, and or checked marked. Let's get started. The first thing that we're going to install is VGIM Bus. If there is a new version out there that comes out, since this is retired, but if there's a new one that comes out, or if this one breaks down, I will be sending a whole different link to you guys in the description for this to fully work. To show you fully where to go, you are fully on this page right here, and you go on this, and then you go on this part right here of the ARM64.exe. For this reason, the reason why we have this, Windows does not allow standard apps to create Xbox controllers. So this software is a system, a driver that gives software permissions to pretend to be an Xbox controller, which is basically a virtual gamepad. Before we continue, it is worth to mention how it's suspicious to be understanding how these keyboards work in the first place for it to actually put analog inputs. So the software that I'm using and the keyboard that I'm using is the NuPhy Field 75HE. Now, my keyboard has a virtual gamepad beta, but it's only using these the standard inputs and not the actual pretending the Xbox 360 or one Xbox controllers. So this is what it works like. And I currently have it right here. Go on settings, and this is it right here. This is kind of the way this wasn't so far. And so this is what I have. But other keyboards that has NuPhy other than my keyboard does not have this feature. But that's okay. What we need to do is, and this is going to depend on what version you have on your system. Go on trigger settings, and make sure that this website is stabilizing the analog inputs. So it's showing every single inputs, no matter what key it's pressing, no matter what it is. Make sure that this is showing. You can minimize it, you can do whatever, but make sure that is showing for what games you will be playing in the background. Okay. The next thing what we're going to do here is go on the Universal Analog plugin. This plugin is for the Rooting Analog SDK. You're going to install this first. Once you're on this page, this plugin, this SDK, is an open driver for your analog keyboards. So it's native support for any application in any game. So you're going to go here, and then you're going to find .msi, which is a Windows application. Not Deb, not Linux, not any of the other ones, because these are mostly Linux operating systems. You're going to be using this one, which is your Windows version. Now, after you're done with that, now we can actually go into the Universal Analog plugin that is going to support your keyboard. Remember that these are the only supported keyboards that works. Now, go into the Oasis page in Windows. The next thing that we're going to do, and I'm going to pull it up a lot right here, is go on your main. Let me just do this actually. So go on your folders, and once you're on your folders, with your Windows, which I have another one, which it says 1. So when you get it for the first time, it's not going to say that. Just remember that. You're going to have these 2 plugins. This one's not going to work for your keyboard that's not rooting, because it's only supporting rooting. This is the plugin that you're going to use for the other keyboards that you currently have. And make sure that these 2 files are in. What you're going to do is go on your main disk right here. Once you're on your main disk, you're going to find program files. Click on that. And then you're going to find rooting analog plugins. Now, if you do not have this already, which most of you probably won't, you're going to right-click, New, and Folder. Now, if it requires administrative privileges, go ahead and say yes. And just type in rooting analog plugins and make sure these are capitalized. I don't know if it works without it being capitalized, but who knows. You open this up, and then you use this file that was used before, this one, and drag it. Now, I've already have it, so I don't need to do it. And make sure that you double-click and these 2 files are in. We got that step done. The next thing we're going to install is VJoy. VJoy is interesting. And make sure this is from SourceForge for this to fully work. VJoy is a virtual joystick coalition. If you're going to be using the software that I'm going to be using, which is Xbox 360 CE, and I will be showing you a different version that I think you could benefit from if you're a simple person, but I use an advanced technology. It is designed to map joysticks and not just keyboards. So it creates a ghost joystick in Windows Device Manager, so it doesn't have any physical buttons or sticks, it's just an empty container. However, if you do not have this, you have nowhere to send your keyboard's analog data, and it's not going to recognize in some of the apps that I will be showing you. Okay, the next thing we're going to do, and it's going to be the last thing we do, it's called Universal Analog Input, I believe. Hold on. The page is loading, but you're going to be shown here, and there's going to be an image right here somewhere. This is the guts that is going to make everything work. It's the glue. It basically takes the 0 to 100 depth data from the plugin that you have created with the Rootings analog plugins and injects it into the VJoy that we've installed. So, your keyboard, without this, your keyboard and data will never talk to each other, and you will just have an empty joystick. But now, since we have this, VJoy is actually going to copy everything that we use with this app that we're going to install and make it work. When you install this app, make sure it runs as an administrator, but if you install it the first time and it doesn't require it, just go ahead and get everything situated for that. Once you have everything installed, and once it has copied everything, you're going to go on here. I'm not going to download it because I already have it. On here, just go all the way down here until you find Universal Analog Input.setup.1.1exe. Open this up, and then you're going to search it up. And now, since you have it already installed, you want it as an administrator. I do not always recommend it to run it as opened, just run it as administrator. So here we are. If you've done everything correctly, you should have analog inputs. And you can customize it with all the keyboards that you have. You can customize the LT, you can customize the RT, anything that you would want it to work on this Xbox controller. Well, it's just a keyboard at the moment, but you get what I'm saying. Make sure, though, that this works while you have this app opened. If you do not have this app opened, which if you go into a different version or something like that, it's not going to work. So, make sure this app is open regardless of what software you have. So since you have this enabled, now we can install one of your favorite apps. to make it more adjustable and stuff. I'm going to be showing you two different things. One is handheld companion. I think it's just you can just open this up because it could just recommend you administrator, but I'm not sure, so let's go ahead and do it. Yep, it's just required me to do administrator, so just go ahead and do that. Handheld companion is so simple. You can just open it up, and it will stimulate it as an Xbox controller. They basically, you buy a car and it's already assembled. The type of thing is what the handheld companion is. So, how to say this? You can basically easily switch from between keyboard mode and controller mode if you want as well. Because since this is stabilized, and since it's not, you're not going to mess with the region in the middle ground, you can just open one app and that's it. And you don't even need to install VJoy for this, in my opinion, because this already has it enabled. So, what do you do for this? You basically, you go to profiles, and then you go to controller mapping. This is where you map all your things, all of your keyboard binds, whatever works for you at the end of the day, this is for you. And once you have done all of that, then you're ready to go. You're ready to, and you can mess with any of this if you want to. That's, not my thing because I'm not using this, but this is what is good for you, then this is what's good for you. Mess around with this, get to know Handheld Companion. This is mainly used for Steam Deck and other things for handheld devices, if it's Windows, but it's up to you. CE. You're going to go for download for all games. And then it's going to show up just a normal zip file. You open this up, and it's just going to be one application. Click on it. And give it, once it opens up, these things are not going to be checked. So, and some of these controllers are not going to be checked either, but the one that you need to be mostly focused on is the controller that works for your keyboard. So you enable these two things to get X input state and to map the device so you combine it with VJoy and stuff. So click on these two, and then you finally have a controller input. Now, to make sure that this works, you can go on controller tester, and then you go on this one right here, because normally when you have a standard with input, it's not going to show up in here, but since it's an Xbox input, it shows up here. And then here it is right here. Now, of course, these things are not going to work. You can also test it to see what the average error is. For your own keyboard as well. But for the most part, you finally have analog inputs. Make sure that you are using a browser that is stable and fast enough for this to fully work itself. That's all I have for you today. This is how you get Xbox input on your keyboard that does not support by its own software. Have a good day.